Welcome to Living Your Greatness. Each episode, we bring on great people to inspire you to achieve your greatness. We discuss topics all related to health and wellness. Listen to world-class stories, learn valuable lessons, and turn knowledge into action. It is now time for you to unlock your inner greatness. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Living Your Greatness. This is your host, Ben Mumme. And in each solo episode, you will receive valuable knowledge, wisdom, and life lessons. The goal is to equip you with mindset strategies, tactics, and tools to help you live a great life. If you are new to Living Your Greatness, the purpose of this podcast is to inspire millions of people across the world to achieve greatness and enhance their overall personal well-being. So thank you for being here. It is my desire to become one of your greatest mentors. So the topic that we're going to talk about today is how to discover your Ikigai, the Japanese secret to health, happiness, and longevity. So have you ever thought, if I earn this much money, I'll be happier? Or if I own that thing, I'll be happier? It's really refreshing to know that in recent years as society, we've started to move away from the idea that economic success, wealth, and possessions are signs of achievement, but are not the sole items responsible for our happiness. So I got a couple of fun facts for you. Did you know that Japan is known for the life practices that lead to longevity of its people, reaching an average life of 83.7 years? Another fact, did you know that previous studies show that Japanese longevity is to be closely related to dietary and health practices? And then the last fact I have for you is, did you know that new studies on Japanese philosophy have shown fulfillment through Ikigai as a key component to longevity? So this probably brings a lot of you to think, what exactly is Ikigai? Philosophers have been deliberating over constructs that explain the pursuit of happiness and the meaning of life for centuries. Ikigai is one thought to combine the Japanese words ikiru, which means to live, and kai, which means the sensation of what hopes for. So together, these definitions create a reason to live or having a purpose. All of us strive for satisfaction and, more importantly, purpose in our lives. Your Ikigai is your reason for jumping out of bed in the morning, what motivates you, and the appreciation that life gives you every day. Ikigai is a beneficial practice in career growth because, like our own passions and needs and what the world needs, the meditation of Ikigai grows and changes with you. There's not necessarily an end to your Ikigai practice. It's an ongoing journey. So this might bring you to think, well, how do you find your Ikigai? So according to Japanese culture, everyone has an Ikigai. Detecting our strengths is not always easy. There are 4 questions that can help us find our path. So if you write these questions somewhere you come across regularly, you can use them as a compass, bringing you closer to your purpose. The 4 questions that you have to ask to find your Ikigai are the following. So number 1, what do I love? So if we think about that, our passion, right? Number 2, what am I good at? So if we think about this is our vocation. Number 3, what can I get paid for? So this is our profession. And number 4, what does the world need? This is our mission. So Ikigai is the union point of 4 fundamental components of life. So as I just kind of went through, our passion, our vocation, our profession, and our mission. In other words, where what you love meets what you are good at, meets what you can be valued and paid for, meets that which the world needs. Ikigai is only complete if the goal implies service to the community. We feel more satisfied giving gifts rather than receiving. The next step, once you've identified these 4 components, would be to start following your compass, start working on your questions, and see how your answers fit in the Ikigai fundamental components. So there's a quote from Howard Thurman, and he once said, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it." Because what the world needs is more people who have come alive. So this brings me to my next point. What the world needs and what people will pay for are the same. And economists wouldn't really see a difference between what the world needs and what you can be paid for. If somebody needs something, then they would be willing to pay for it. If somebody is willing to pay for something, then they necessarily want or need it. Even if we consider social problems like poverty and homelessness, those with resources are willing to pay to help to eliminate these problems. We economize on the use of resources to fix social problems through voluntary donations from others. Another quote I want to share with you. Miles Monroe once said, "People have the potential to create your environment. Your environment then determines your mindset, and your mindset determines your future." Now, this is a pretty powerful thought because the law of association guarantees you a spot in the division of labor. So, what that means, the law of association guarantees that everyone has a comparative advantage. Using the language of the Ikigai graphic, which you could find actually online, everybody has a guaranteed spot in which you are good at and what you can be paid for overlap. And since these circles are really the same, what this means is that everybody has the profession vocation combination. Everybody has a comparative advantage because even if somebody is really good at something, it means they incur at a high cost by doing anything else. Said another way, if somebody is really good at something, then somebody else can produce something else at a relatively lower cost. The law of association is based on this logic. One man's relative productivity in A is necessarily another man's relative productivity in B. Individuals find their comparative advantage by interacting with others in the market. It is only by surveying existing producers and the prices of those goods that one can make an informed decision on what to produce or where to apply for jobs. So my next point I want to focus on here is, what do you love and what do you prefer? There's a difference. The economic theory guarantees everyone a job that satisfies 3 out of the 4 Ikigai criteria: what the world needs, what you can get paid for, and what you are good at. The economic theory cannot guarantee the 4th criterion, that you love what you do. So that part is actually up to you and your values. Economics can agree that you will do what you prefer, which might be considered a broader category that includes what you love to do. I actually think there are 5 pillars that can enhance your Ikigai. So in addition to answering the 4 questions about ourselves, there's another layer to the Ikigai concept. It is much easier to feel Ikigai when we create social connection. This explanation is due to the ingrained social connections that Japanese society promotes and is conditioned to seek. Ken Mogi, a neuroscience and author of Awakening Your Ikigai, advises us to focus on what he labels the 5 pillars. Number 1, starting small. Number 2, accepting yourself. Number 3, connecting with the world around you. Number 4, seeking out small joys. And number 5, being in the here and the now. To make the most of your 5-pillar method, Mogi suggests incorporating the mindset in the first couple of hours after you wake up to start your day on the right foot and get your brain accustomed to this way of thinking. It is now time for you to think about what was said in this episode. It is now time for you to find your Ikigai. So keeping the 5 pillars in mind, take 10 minutes to ask yourself those 4 core questions. Be honest in your answers and see what you come up with. Over the next several weeks, set aside time to ponder these questions. You might even consider journaling your answer and thinking about how your answers change over time. Revisit these answers in a month from now, 6 months, a year. You'll notice that they will change dramatically. We cannot expect to find our Ikigai overnight. Ikigai is an understanding of our own unique life mission, and foremost, that takes many years and it often changes. The more determined you are to find your Ikigai, the more quickly you will do so. So I want to end off this episode by thanking you again for being here. I really hope this solo episode has added some value to your life. If you enjoy listening to my podcast, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button because by doing this, it will give you unlimited access to all future podcast episodes. I want to end off this podcast now by wishing you to keep living your greatness. Much love, Ben. Thank you for listening to the Living Your Greatness podcast. If this show has added value, please subscribe, leave a rating, and make a review.